The prenup wasn't meant to screw me over. That's what my wife screamed when her family lawyer confirmed that the ironclad prenup she demanded now protects my $1.2 million lottery winnings as separate property. 3 years ago, she insisted on this prenup to protect her trust fund from me. Now she wants half my jackpot, and I'm saying absolutely fucking not. AITA? I'm Jake, 31, union electrician, IBEW Local 98, in Philadelphia. My wife Victoria is 29, works in marketing, comes from serious old money in Boston. We met 5 years ago when I was installing a security system in her condo building. She found my authentic working class thing attractive. I fell hard for this beautiful, smart, successful woman. When I proposed 2 years later with a ring I saved 6 months for, her parents made it clear: prenup or no wedding. Her dad Lawrence sat me down and explained they needed to protect Victoria's assets and inheritance. The terms were brutal. All her premarital stuff would stay separate, including her trust fund, condo, and investments. Any future inheritance would stay separate too. Anything either of us bought during marriage with our own separate money would remain ours alone. Only stuff we bought together would get split 50-50. And no alimony unless we stayed married over 10 years. I felt insulted as hell. My best friend Jackson told me not to sign it. My mom said, "She doesn't trust you, that's not love." But I loved Victoria and wanted to prove I wasn't some gold digger they obviously thought I was. So I signed without negotiating anything. "I'm not after your money," I told them. This proves it. The marriage has been complicated. We moved to Philly for my union work. She bought our house with a $400K down payment from her money, so legally it's hers per the prenup. I make $65K a year, she makes $180K. Plus has her trust fund. The lifestyle difference is obvious. She buys designer clothes, I shop clearance. At her family gatherings I feel like the help half the time. But I thought we were happy. Then 3 weeks ago everything changed. My crew does a weekly Powerball pool, $5 each, 10 guys, been doing it for 2 years. We finally hit big, $18 million jackpot. After taxes and splitting 10 ways, I walked away with $1.2 million in my personal checking account. I didn't tell Victoria immediately. Needed to process it mentally first. I asked Jackson about the prenup. Assets acquired during marriage with separate funds stay separate, right? He was like, "Dude, you're protected now." When I finally told her Sunday morning, she went crazy with excitement. "Oh my God, we're rich. We can finally renovate the kitchen and—" I stopped her. "Actually, I won, not we." She froze mid-celebration. "What do you mean, I won?" "The lottery ticket. I bought it with my paycheck. That makes it my separate asset. But we're married. And we have a prenup that says assets acquired with separate funds stay separate. Doesn't matter whose assets." That's when she lost it. "That's different. The prenup was to protect my inheritance. It says assets acquired during marriage with separate funds remain separate. Period. It doesn't specify whose assets get protected." She tried every angle she could think of. First, the emotional manipulation. "I thought you loved me." Then the marriage angle. "We're married, what's yours is mine." Which was funny considering her trust fund says otherwise. Then she went with, "This isn't fair." The irony was completely lost on her. Finally she tried, "My parents will be furious." Like that's my problem. Her parents called demanding I do the right thing. I told them I am doing the right thing, following their prenup exactly as written. Now Victoria's calling me selfish and vindictive. Her mom texted saying I'm deliberately cruel for hiding behind paperwork instead of being generous with my wife. But here's what gets me. When I was laid off for 6 months during COVID and burning through my savings, did she offer to help with the mortgage from her trust fund? Nope. The prenup protected her then, just like it's protecting me now. Reddit. Am I being an asshole? Part of me feels bad seeing her so upset. But another part thinks, you wanted this prenup, you got it. Fairness works both ways. Update 1. The last 2 weeks have been absolutely insane. Victoria insisted we meet with Gregory Palmer, the family attorney who drafted our prenup, to find a way around this situation. We went to his fancy Boston office and he reviewed the prenup thoroughly. After an hour, his conclusion was crystal clear. The lottery winnings are Jake's separate property under the terms of this agreement. He explained that since I bought the ticket with my separate income, it qualifies as an asset acquired during marriage with separate funds, which the prenup explicitly protects. Pennsylvania law backs this up completely. The look on Gregory's face was priceless. He literally wrote this document to be airtight, and now it was protecting the wrong person. Victoria was nearly in tears. "There has to be a way around this," she pleaded. Gregory just stared at his own work. I wrote this document to be bulletproof. Jake's winnings fall squarely under the protection I built in. "You're supposed to be our lawyer," Victoria snapped. "I'm your family's lawyer, and this is exactly what your family wanted." Victoria stormed out crying. The irony was physically painful to watch. Then her parents demanded a meeting. We met at some expensive Back Bay restaurant where I felt completely out of place in my work clothes while they were dressed for the country club. Lawrence tried the authoritative approach. "This prenup wasn't meant for this situation." "It was meant for exactly this situation," I replied, "protecting separate assets." Charlotte, Victoria's mom, got nasty. "You're being deliberately obtuse." "I'm being exactly what you assumed I was. Someone who knows what belongs to him." That's when Lawrence showed his true colors. "We can make your life very difficult. We have resources, connections." I just laughed. "What are you going to do? Sue me for following the contract you insisted on? I have a prenup your own lawyer drafted. Good luck with that." The home situation is a nightmare now. Victoria alternates between crying and rage. She's stopped contributing to household duties entirely. Her justification: "Why should I when you won't share?" I reminded her, "You mean like how you've been sharing your trust fund all along? Oh wait. My buddy Jackson has been incredible through this. She showed you who she is. Believe her," he keeps telling me. "If roles were reversed, you think she'd share?" Looking back, I remember when I was laid off during COVID. Victoria kept her savings completely intact while I burned through mine. The prenup protected her then, and she was fine with that. Now it protects me, and suddenly it's unfair? My mom called after hearing about everything. "I told you that prenup was an insult," she said. "Now they're mad it works both ways? Don't you dare give her a penny she's not entitled to. You finally have security. Keep it." At work, the guys have mixed reactions. Some think I should share with my wife because that's what marriage is. Others point out she'd never share her inheritance. Most agree. Prenup is prenup. She can't pick and choose when it applies. Victoria's wealthy friends are all calling me vindictive for using the prenup as a weapon. One actually texted me, "Victoria was right to protect herself from you." I responded, "Agreed, and I'm right to protect myself with the same document." Got blocked immediately. The worst part? Victoria has been researching ways to contest the prenup, looking for loopholes. When I caught her, she said, "I thought we were building a life together." "We are," I told her. "According to the legal framework you demanded, you can't ignore the prenup when it benefits you and invoke it when it doesn't." She switched tactics to pure emotional manipulation. "The prenup was my parents' idea, not mine. Can't we just ignore it and be partners?" That's rich because when we first got married and I suggested combining finances, she refused. "It's important to keep things clear," she said then. Now that clarity benefits me, suddenly it's a problem? Update 2. After her family started making threats, I hired my own attorney. Bethany Cruz, a scrappy family law lawyer from Philly who took one look at my prenup and said, "This is the most ironclad document I've ever seen. Your winnings are 100% protected." But then she dropped a bomb. "You should know what we'll find when I request financial disclosure for the divorce." Turns out Victoria has been hiding a lot more money than I ever knew about. The $400K trust fund I knew about? That's just the beginning. There's another trust fund worth $300K that I had no idea existed. She's got investment accounts with $150K, money market accounts with $80K. We're talking close to $1 million in total personal wealth that she never mentioned. I literally almost had a panic attack. My wife is worth nearly $1 million, and she's demanding I share $1.2 million. She has almost as much money as me hidden away and made me feel guilty for having something for the first time in my life. But it gets worse. Bethany pulled credit card statements showing Victoria spent $48,000 on clothes and accessories last year alone, while I drove my 2009 F-150 with 180K miles. while I packed lunch every day to save money, while she complained my anniversary gifts were cheap, all while sitting on $2.3 million she never bothered to mention. I confronted her with the financial documents. You have nearly $1 million and you're mad about my $1.2 million? That's different. That's money I've always had. Money you hid from me while I lived like I was broke. You let me stress about bills while you had nearly $1 million. I didn't hide it, you never asked. Because I trusted you. While you made me sign a prenup assuming I was a gold digger. That's when she finally realized I was done. She started apologizing, saying she should have told me about the accounts, that we could work it out, go to counseling, that she didn't even care about the lottery money anymore. But I care, I told her. I care that you're worth millions and made me feel like shit for having nothing. I care that the second I had something you wanted half. I care that you never trusted me but demanded I trust you completely. I filed for divorce. The prenup makes it straightforward. She keeps her nearly $1 million plus the house. I keep my lottery winnings and truck. No alimony since we've been married less than 10 years, and we're done. Clean break. Her attorney tried proposing that I give her $400K from the lottery as a goodwill gesture. Bethany's response was epic. My client owes your client exactly what the prenup specifies, nothing more. There was one complication. I'd paid $1,500 a month toward the mortgage for 3 years, totaling $54K. The prenup was ambiguous about whether mortgage payments constituted equity or rent. Victoria's position was that I was essentially paying rent to live in her house. We settled on me getting back $30K of my mortgage contributions, plus Victoria paying all divorce attorney fees for both sides. Not ideal, but I wanted it over. Moving out was surreal. Loading my truck with the few things that were actually mine while she watched from the window crying. Part of me felt sad, but mostly I felt relieved. Jackson helped me move into a modest one-bedroom apartment. You did the right thing, man, he kept saying. She was never going to see you as an equal. I thought love would be enough, I admitted. Can't love someone who looks down on you. Edit. For those asking why I'm not going after more of her money, I don't want her money. I never did. That's exactly what the prenup was supposed to prove, and it did. Final update. It's been 18 months since the lottery win that destroyed my marriage, and I wanted to give you all a final update since this community helped me through the worst time of my life. The divorce was finalized 11 months ago. Victoria got to keep her millions plus the house. I kept my lottery money plus got $30K back from mortgage payments. Clean break, no future contact required. Victoria wasted no time moving on. 4 months after our separation, she was dating Andrew, some hedge fund guy from New York whose family makes Victoria's family look middle class. They got engaged after 8 months and are planning a Martha's Vineyard wedding. Here's the beautiful karma. Andrew's billionaire parents made Victoria sign a prenup to protect him from her. According to her cousin, who still talks to me, Victoria is devastated by the lack of trust his family is showing her. The irony is so perfect it hurts. She's experiencing exactly what she put me through, being seen as a potential gold digger who needs to be protected against legally. As for me, I'm engaged to someone incredible. Rachel, 30, elementary school teacher making $52K a year. I met her 9 months after my separation at a coffee shop where she was grading papers. We started chatting and just clicked. The contrast with Victoria couldn't be more stark. On our first date, Rachel split the check without even thinking about it. She drives a 2015 Honda Civic and has never apologized for it. Lives in a small apartment she's proud of, talks openly about her student loans and teacher salary struggles. When I told her about the lottery win 4 months into dating, her reaction was perfect. That's amazing. What are you doing with it? Invested most of it conservatively, trying to be smart. Good for you. I just hit 10K in savings and felt like a millionaire. No calculation, no expectation, no entitlement. Just genuine happiness for me. When I told her the full story about Victoria and the prenup, Rachel's response was, wait, she was worth almost $1 million and mad about your $1.2 million? When I confirmed it, she said, what a bitch. The first time she'd ever cursed in front of me. We both laughed for 5 minutes straight. I proposed to Rachel last month while hiking in Valley Forge Park. Simple 2K ring, beautiful vista, heartfelt words about building a life together as equals. She cried happy tears and said yes immediately. No prenup discussion needed because we're both bringing similar assets and values to this marriage. The difference is night and day. Rachel insists on splitting our apartment rent 50-50, despite knowing I have savings. I'm not with you for money, I'm with you for you, she says. We have joint accounts for bills and separate accounts for personal stuff. No resentment, no power imbalances. Our wedding is planned for next spring, $15K total budget, backyard of her parents' house, 80 guests, food truck catering. Rachel found her dress at David's Bridal for $600 and is more excited about the marriage than the wedding. I used $150K of my lottery money to buy a small rental property in a working-class Philly neighborhood. I keep the rent affordable at $900 for a 2-bedroom, market rate is $1,300, and my tenant is a single mom who teaches at Rachel's school. The money is being used for good, not hoarded. Victoria's cousin gave me one more update recently. Apparently Victoria talks about me sometimes, says she made a mistake letting me go. She's realized that Andrew's family sees her exactly the way her family saw me, as someone who needs to be protected against. But the wedding is planned and she's too proud to back out. Lawrence, her father, actually called me recently. I expected hostility, but he was apologetic. I wanted to say you were right about the prenup, he admitted. Victoria is experiencing now what you experienced then. Andrew's parents treat her like a fortune hunter. I'm sorry I didn't see that we were doing the same to you. I appreciated the call but told him I'd moved on completely. Which is true. I don't think about Victoria much anymore except when these updates remind me how much better my life is now. The lottery money was nice, but finding Rachel was the real jackpot. She's everything Victoria wasn't. Genuine, unpretentious, financially responsible without being obsessive about it. When we move in together next month, there won't be any question about who owns what or who pays for what. We're true partners. To anyone dealing with a prenup that makes them feel like a potential criminal, remember that those documents protect whoever needs protecting when the time comes. Victoria wanted insurance against my intentions. Turns out I needed insurance against hers. The right person doesn't require a lawyer to trust you. They trust you because they know your character, not because of your bank account. Edit. For those asking, yes, I'm genuinely happy Victoria found someone wealthy. They're a better match financially and socially. I hope they're happy together, though the prenup situation suggests they're starting with the same trust issues we had. Edit 2. Rachel and I are planning to visit my family in Scranton next month. My mom already adores her after one FaceTime call. She's real, Mom said. Keep this one. Planning to do exactly that. Edit 3. Someone asked what I'd tell my younger self. Simple. Don't sign legal documents that assume the worst about your character unless you're prepared to enforce them when they benefit you instead. Fairness works both ways, even when people don't expect it to. P.S. Rachel is currently grading papers while wearing her engagement ring and eating takeout Chinese on our couch. She's never asked about my investment accounts, never suggested we upgrade our lifestyle, never made me feel less than enough. This is what partnership looks like when both people see each other as equals rather than assets to be managed. The prenup Victoria demanded to protect her from me ended up protecting me from her. Sometimes the universe has a sense of humor about justice.